morning. Welcome to Izzy's Word for today. It's uh, it's a different world out here. Good morning, America. It's a different world out here in Hong Kong. Different world. Yeah. Izzy's Word for the day. Everything you think is true may not be true. Huh? Whose truth is true? Huh? Ask yourself that. It's a different world out here, man. You know, majority of my friends are in the southern states of the United States. It's a different world out here, man. Growing up in the South, things are what they are. Wow, it's considered a norm. It's a norm. The South, the southern states of the United States, that's loaded within itself. Man, it's a different world out here, man. Southern states are not like the northern states. It's a different world out here. Man, the southern states. Southern states, you have people who may think alike. Why? Because there were scientific experiments done on humans, throughout the years of establishing those southern states. A group of people had an agenda to grow, and they use people. How do they use people? As lab rats. It's a different world out here, man. It's a different world out here, man. And you got the older generation doing things the way they have always done things throughout the years, man, which is loaded, because you're telling me if you're still here, where I can see you, touch you, hear you, that means physically you're still here. I'm not even touching on the mental aspect. Physically you still here. Hate to point you out, so keep my fingers straight. I ain't gonna point you out, I'm gonna keep my fingers straight. But physically you still here, which means that the chances of you being a willing participant in the scientific experiment of enslaving a person's mind is high, but people won't look at it like that. Why? Because it's the South, man. If you grew up in the South, you never ventured out, never lived in other places, you don't know it's a different world out here, man. But those individuals who grew up in the South, who ventured out, went to other places, sort of like getting out of the cave in Plato's allegory, right? Hate to point you out, but allegory of the cave, So in my analogy, we'll say the cave is like what? States. In certain states, you have what? A collectivity of people who kind of think the same. They from North Carolina, I'm from Northern North Carolina. That means a lot, man. More than just vinaigrette-based barbecue sauce. We have that in common too. Why? Because it's a normal, man. But it's a different world out here. It's a different world out here. You're not going to find vinaigrette-based barbecue sauce in Hong Kong. Wow, different world out here, man. Different cultural differences, man. You go to the north, you're not going to find vinaigrette-based barbecue sauce like you would find it around North Carolina. Wow, different world, man. Different things, man. Different people, man. They think different, man. We don't all have to think alike, but that's heavy. That's heavy for someone who grew up in the South, ventured outside the cave, went to other states, other countries, so now they're seeing things a little differently, you know what I mean? They were in the South, in southern states, being taught a certain way, mainly from a microeconomic point of view from their family. Their family told them, look, this is who you believe in, you know what I mean? This is a truth. You say this name, this name is truer than any of y'all names, you know what I'm saying? How you know? I know now. And you take that word for granted, you know what I'm saying? So it's like the allegory of the cave. You have somebody inside the cave that's showing you images on the cave, that's being portrayed from this burning flame inside the cave, and they're saying, yeah, this is a cow, you know what I'm saying? This image right here, that's a rose. Say rose. and you inside the cave, Rose, Rose, yeah, yeah, you said it right, yeah, that's right. And this right here, this image is a sun. Say sun, sun, sun. Yeah, you said it right. But eventually, you have individuals like myself who start to think, how do I know that's the sun? How do I know that's the right thing for me? I haven't tried anything else. I don't have that much data to go on. You know, I'm basing my truth on something that comes from you. This doesn't make sense. A thinker, one who will think. You don't have a lot of people out here that will think. You know, so a person like me in this story in Plato's allegory of the cave will get up from the group. You know what I mean? Like Abraham in the Bible. If you read the Bible, like Abraham, something inside him told him to get up from the group, man. Get away from your family and friends for a minute. I gotta holler at you. So, what? You can't sit there. You sit there, something is gonna eat you up inside. You know something told you to get up and start walking. In which direction? Take a step, you'll be led. And what happens? You're led to the end of the cave. Outside the cave, you start to see things you never seen before. You're questioning things now that you heard. Why? Because it's a different world out here, man. You can't go off what I say, what she say, he say, experience some stuff. That's what we here for, the experience, man, to collect data, man. Forget your rights and wrongs. Get your data on, you know, track yourself, man. Track your growth, man. It's a different world out here. You can't base your truths on what you hear from propaganda. Folks in America telling you what Hong Kong is like. Ain't never stepped out of North Carolina. How they know? It's a different world out here, man. Ask folks, put folks on the witness stand. Ask them how you know. Next time they tell you what to think, ask them how you know. And then weigh what they say. You know, if they don't know what they gonna, oh, well, I heard. You don't know that. You don't know nothing. But respectfully, I ain't gonna call you out like that. Oh, I mean, I hit you, I'll play you off with a, oh, okay. But in my mind, I assess your what you throwing out to me as faulty. Nah, it's just an opinion. That's a subjective opinion. That's not even raw data. You know? It's just economics. Go off the data, man. Get some data, get some experience, man. Get out the South. Get out the South. Go up north. Get out the states. Cross the borders. Man, it's a different world out here, man. Don't let folks play you like that, bro. Sis, young man, okay, how old you are, young man. You world out here, if you young out here, if you never thought a day in your life, you always been regurgitating what people told you, you a young man. And to the young man who never thought, when you do exit the cave and find that new identity with something you never seen before, and it has you at a place where you're now thinking about what people taught you back in the past and what they said, and now what happens is naturally you want to what? You want to talk too. You want to go back and say, look, I think I saw a real sun, you know? But what happens? You go back inside the cave, you try to tell people, expose people to what is now your truth relative to time. Those people jump on your back, bro. They fighting you, bro. Nah, because you going against a norm, you know? They coming after your head now. You telling them that their son ain't real. And what you saw is a real sun. And it's something outside this cave. That's crazy talk. My mama, my granddaddy, his mama, his granddaddy been inside this cave all our years. We from the South. That's what you dealing with, bro. Get out of the South, man. Get out the States. That's the mentality of people you dealing with, bro. It's a different world out here, man. It's a different world out here, man. Even if you do deal with the Bible, you feel me? There was once upon a time where you say Jesus. You say that's the only name because why? You from the South, ain't you? Yeah. Uh-huh. Keep it real. Call a dog a dog. Yeah. It's how it goes down. A lot of people choose religion because their parents were that. You ain't never tried anything else. You don't have data. That's why it's the only truth for you. It's the only name you heard. So when I say Yahshua, that rubs you wrong way. If you taking it back to the Hebrew, nah, you want to tell me some English name. When J's weren't even invented, when your so-called only name was roaming the earth. So if English language weren't being used back then how can his name have started with a J? Oh, that's data. So, but anyway, that's something else. But anyway, let's just say the only begotten Son. Let's find that common ground. Huh? You agree upon that? Yeah. Once upon a time, the only begotten Son healed somebody, but told this person, don't go back and tell nobody. Why? Why you think he told somebody that? And he told a different person something different. Go back and tell everybody you know. Huh. Interesting, isn't it? You have two different individuals. Same scenario. Both get healed. He tells one person, don't go tell nobody. Other person, he tells, go tell everybody you know. Why? You're dealing with two different mental beings. One mental being wasn't strong in his walk. This is a person just exit the cave, being inside the cave for years, been under the management of parents telling him what to think. He never thought a day in his life, but now he's being led by the Spirit, right? Exit the cave, see something new. He's healed. He hasn't been healed for that long. He's been ill more days than he's been healed, right? So what do you think his belief is in? What's his truth? His truth is in what people have been telling him. You're ill. Man, I'll pray for your healing, indicating that something is wrong. That's why half the time you say I'm gonna pray for you. I'm a little weary of that, huh? I'm a little weary of that. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a little weary of that. So, but he tell one person, don't tell nobody. Indicates he's not strong in his decisions to think for himself. He's not gonna latch on the fact that he's healed and just stay that healed person. A person that's wavering is likely to say, I'm healed, but man, I was hurt yesterday. I hope my healing stays, man. Can you pray for my healing, man? Can you pray that I'll stay healed? They talking like that. Versus the other person, he told the other person, go back and tell everybody you know you healed. Why? Because that person is latching on to that new found identity in his healed self or her healed self. That's all that person is going to talk about. His energy is aligned with healing. Oh, using physics, the momentum will increase because that person will go brag. Oh, I met a person, he healed me. Oh, I'm walking in this new healing. That's that person. You have two different people out here, man. Yeah. So be wary who praying for you now. You know, it sounds good, Southerners, to say I'm gonna pray for you. What energy you got behind that prayer though? That's what I'm talking about. Cause forget the words. Forget the words. Nah, your thought comes first, the vibration. In the beginning, there was something hovering over the water, right? Yeah, that spiritual vibration is always there. It was always there. Forget what you see. You may see me as a physical being. I'm more spiritual than I am physical. See, that's where I am. That's why it's hard to psych me out. You feel me? So yeah, so you have a person out here that's more spiritually based, does things, uses an algorithm that will keep him or her strong in their decision to align with the momentum of knowing who he or she is vibrationally, will maintain this vibration of being connected to this source energy made in the image of healing. Huh? How can I waver from that if I know who I am, huh? Yeah, that type, that group of people. It's a different world for a group of people like that. We know who we are. Yeah. It's a different world out here, man. Yeah, so, you know, Abraham was told, get away from your family and friends for a minute. Let me talk to you. Let me walk with me for a minute. You know, how, that minute, the number of days, that's subjective. Yeah, that's subjective to the individual. Will you be like the person that's new and is thinking? You are walking. You are walking with your creator, you know, on this spiritual journey. But are you a baby in this walk? If so, you're gonna wanna talk to the people you know best. And those are the ones who are gonna try to conform you back to the old way of thinking. And that's risky. Risk versus reward. No. Risk outweighs the reward. You are an investor. You invest your time wisely, your money wisely. Good steward of time, good steward of money. You're on this journey to become a better steward of time, a better steward of money. Yeah. Ain't no right or wrong. Collect data. Assess the data. Get better and better as you go along. Press on.